I swear that Stephanie Jenkins is getting more and more delusional with every single video she puts out. Now, she goes on in her caption in the latest video to talk about the guilt she would feel riding around in a car that she paid for with her money if she was talking about other people, making money off other people. My curiosity is, does she feel guilty about receiving a very nice TikTok payout when she went viral and neglecting to pay the rent and essentially making her family homeless? Does she feel any guilt for neglecting and abandoning those cats? Neglecting the Milo to the point of he had no fur on his body, he was so full of fleas? Does she feel any guilt about that? Probably not, because in her sub-only video, she addresses the 2 citations she received for abandoning and neglecting the cats or whatever. And she wants to know, well, how she has 2 tickets for strays. Hello. Anybody can go back and watch 2, 3 years worth of the videos and see that these cats were in the house. Okay, they may have been strays when you took them in, which we know to be false because at least one of the cats was given to her by Drew as a birthday gift. I mean, he just went outside and found a stray. Here you go, happy birthday. That's beside the point. So basically, they were not strays; they were her cats. But she refuses to take accountability for anything. Then she's talking about a post office box, how she can't get one until she gets some mail at the address they're staying at, a utility bill or a medical bill, something of that sort, like an official type mail. And Drew already has. We can only imagine what that mail would be. I'm sure it was court mail, probably to do with the child support that he refuses to pay. But, she then goes on to talk about she would love with her next TikTok payment to take the kids to Disney World. What? How's that even a thought in her mind? Because she keeps jumping between you only have one life to live and creating memories, and then doing other things. And she basically says that housing isn't really an immediate need. She insists that people cannot turn their lives around in a year, in less than a year. Even a year is doing real good. I told y'all they plan on being in this motel for at least a year, taking that room from a family that really is in real need of it. And she feeds us the lie that she is doing everything she can to try to provide financial stability for herself and her family, and so her kids don't have to live a life like this. Everything except her and Drew getting jobs, of course. I don't know how it doesn't compute in this woman's head that if she got a job and her and Drew got a job, they wouldn't have to pay for child's care because they could work opposing shifts. One days, one nights, whatever. And then they could obtain housing between paychecks and her TikTok earnings. And he's probably in getting monetized on TikTok too, because I don't know how, but he's over 10,000 followers now too. Within 2 or 3 months, they could go get an apartment because they'd have verified earnings. They'd have pay stubs to show plus the TikTok earnings. But no, no. They're considering being a traveling family and moving out of state and all these wild ideas. Like I said, anything except getting a job and taking accountability. I've never once seen this woman take accountability for anything. Anything and everything that goes wrong in her life or isn't going her way is the fault of somebody else. It's never her fault. Never. And she's doing her laundry, talking about sorting the laundry, and how some people like to be clean. For 2 grown people that spend 24/7 in this room, how in the world is that room always filthy like that? I understand they got children. But come on now, you ain't got nothing else to do. So why aren't they cleaning up right after meals, washing the dishes, cleaning up right after the kids? Why? Pure laziness, that's why. It just blows my mind that she cannot see that there's an easy way out of this. All they have to do is get jobs. What is so hard? And she constantly complains about people making content about them, but she's the one that puts every single detail of their life online. She's the one feeding the ammo. And then also in the caption, she talks about their financial status really hasn't changed. Yeah, okay. You was making zero before you went viral, and now you're making at least several $1,000s a month, but your finances haven't changed. And like I said, she pretty much said, housing. She pretty much insinuated that housing isn't an immediate need because she has these growing kids and they constantly need clothes and whatnot. I completely understand that. But instead of running to Target every other week and buying these clothes, apparently they're too good to shop at, say, thrift stores to buy these kids these clothes. She's got to act all bougie and have the best of everything, apparently, while living in a motel. Make that one make sense. I'm convinced that she's just delusional. And then, here's the kicker. She states that soon their benefits will be ending and they'll have to pay for everything out of pocket. How are they even still receiving any benefits like food stamps? Because I don't know about Oregon, but the state I live, you have 10 days to report any change in income of over $100. So I'm sure they didn't have more than a month to report the change in their income. So basically, she's defrauding the welfare system there. And even if when they do take your food stamps, which they should have already, because I'm sure she's over the income limit, they'll be fine. She just can't shop like she shops now. All name brand, organic, this and that. She's going to have to buy store brands. And the stuff that us regular people eat. But here we go again. Stuff's got to be bougie. Wearing her slides that's 3 sizes too big. And what is with Drew? I swear, he has been wearing that same nasty, stinking hoodie and jogging pants for months now. When he takes that stuff off, it's going to stand up by itself. It's so filthy. Come on. They need to do better.